I didn't know if I wanted to get into it onto my channel because I'm already over this whole fiasco, but there's a subreddit called Mina Irfan the Scammer that's been going strong for the past 2 to 3 years, ever since we all started to collectively kind of expose her scamming tactics and how she overcharges her students, etc. Her son basically came onto the Reddit and pretty much confessed or admitted to us that Mina was like very abusive to him throughout his whole life growing up. I have screenshots of a post here. It was proven that it was her son, Arman, the oldest one, the one that she had with her ex-husband before she married Irfan. Yeah, he basically like entered into a direct dialogue with a lot of the people on her scammer subreddit. And I think if I find it, I'll put it up later, but the person that was going back and forth with him at first, she asked him to like unfollow his mom from his Instagram account to prove that it was really him in the Reddit. And like seconds after she asked him to do that, she went back to Arman's Instagram account and checked that indeed his following list no longer had Mina the universe guru on it. Are you following? So it proves, I mean, I feel like it proves that he is really who he says he is, which is Arman, Mina's son. So he goes by the moniker dry trouble _5060. They have screenshots of like the first post that he made, which he took down because he said like it's fine if we use the screenshots later on, but he said that for his own sake, he wanted to just put it out for a certain amount of time and then delete it and be done with the whole thing. So I only have the screenshots, but I can read them to you. This is one of the members from the Mina Irfan the Scammer Reddit. She's asking him, or she's saying to him, I'm shocked at the abuse. I really thought that she, aka Mina, loved her kids, even though I do think something's not quite right with her. So then Arman says she loves the idea of having kids, not having kids, like in real life. That's what I learned. So then someone else jumps in and says, who the F does Paris think she is? So Paris, I guess, is Arman's wife. Arman got married, even though he's still super young. I think he's only like 22 or 23. But yeah, like apparently he went off and got married with his girlfriend, who happens to be Caucasian, which his parents were against, apparently. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So this person says, who the F does Paris think she is? What even is the point of this post? 1 minute y'all are talking shit about Mina, then you want to kiss her ass the next, talking about until you reach her level of success. But you won't let us talk ish about her. Like, little girl have several seats. Okay, I'm not sure who that was directed towards. Oh, okay, these two are having like their own argument, but there's Bold Bell who says, legit have several seats, little girl. I'm thinking that they're not lying about being brain damaged because, like you said, the post has no point, just freaking unhinged. Okay, that was like a side combo. So then Dry Trouble, who is Arman, comes back and says, are these in order? This is all I have to go off of. It's just these screenshots. That's all that's left of the original post. So he says it was the most inconvenient thing of their life, apparently, but more my stepdad, who is Irfan. Okay, my wifey is a Muslim girl. She's very proud to be Muslim. She's lived in countries and even lived with the Maasai warriors. I'm not sure what that is. She impresses me with their genuine knowledge and talent on so many things because she's lived through so much. And when we met, we instantly knew we would have kids together and get married. Okay, good for you, Arman. I tried to tell them those amazing qualities about her to them. So by them, he means his parents, Mina and Irfan. Believe me, I could go all day about them, but my mom and I rarely ever talked about girls growing up. My theory was that maybe because my wife is a pretty young white girl, my dad hated her, by the way. My goodness, gold digger, scammer, all because she's not a brown girl that isn't at least 5 years younger than me. He did say that, by the way. My mom had a more passive approach with it. I can't put my finger on it, but they collectively stopped talking to me when I got with her. So Mina and Irfan, who is Arman's stepdad, stopped talking to him after he put his foot down and told him that he was going to like continue pursuing a relationship, or now a marriage, I guess, with his Caucasian girlfriend. Edit after a thought. My mom loved control in general. Even in the program, she would say things over the phone to make sure I was hooked to them. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but knew I had to fight my way to being back home. To her, me being tied down to a program was much better than going off with my uncle, whom I would have rather lived with. It's weird. Oh, okay, so I think he's talking about a program that Mina put Arman into, kind of like a troubled teens program. You guys remember when Paris Hilton came out with her documentary and she talked about how she was like kidnapped in the middle of the night by these people that took her away to this remote camp somewhere where the purpose was to re-educate troubled teens, and she endured like a lot of abuse at the hands of the adults that ran the camp. I think what it seems like Armaan is saying here is that Mina put him in a similar type of program. I'm not sure what his age was at this point, but anyway, he continues like replying to his own post a couple times. He says, "That's what I'm saying. Like all my life, my mom was kind of hinting to me that I should go with a Pakistani girl. I knew that was never going to happen, just not my style. So even with being with a white Muslim girl, they tried to pick apart her age just because she's my age. She carried my baby before, and we've been everywhere together." So Armaan has a kid now? Is that what's going on? Sorry, I'm like not super up to date. And I don't know, maybe Armaan and Paris, maybe I'm sure they have their own social media. I don't know if they have their own YouTube channel. Maybe I'll look for that later. But she carried my baby before and we have been everywhere together. We fought together. We did everything together. They refused to ever meet her. Like, God forbid I go for a woman my own age. So then someone else says, "Do you mind me asking if you ever went to university/college? Maybe if you went to university, it would rebuild the relationship with your brown parents. And do you live off of your own income now? I'm assuming Paris has a job/helps out." It's funny because I was just talking about Paris Hilton, but I think Armaan's IRL wife is named Paris, the blonde Muslim girl that he's talking about here. So I'm asking this as a fellow 20-something-year-old. LOL. I'm not judging you, more so shocked at how Mina really is behind closed doors. I'm not. Yawn. But Armaan says, "Hi, it's nice to see someone my own age in this chat for once. Haha. If she ever claimed that I went to Rice, meaning Rice University, which is a university in the US, I wanted to go there when I was maybe 12, and then that was the end of it. My parents and I will probably not speak again in this lifetime. They shut off my number anyway, and we are in different countries, and I would refuse to do something they want just to build the relationship. I'm a rebel by heart. They have given me so much wrongful advice, you'd be surprised." Wow. To answer your question, yes, I went to college, but I never completed it and I don't intend to. My wife loves university. She studies anthropology and obviously journalism. Such a nerd, I love it. She does it because she loves it. Me, on the other hand, I could never. I'm more into the let's make money in a way no one has before, or let's get on a boat and fuck off and just sail the world. That's just me. So yes, she really did think I was going to complete college because I'm still enrolled in it. He's talking about his mom, Mina. Technically. Okay, so he's technically still enrolled in college or Rice University. Or I'm not sure if he said that he actually ended up going to Rice, but anyway, to me, it's utterly useless. She did freak the fuck out when she found out though. So then he's responding to someone else here. I can't see because it's cut off, but he says, "Thank you, my love. Genuinely mean that. Regarding your question, I realized that blood and family are not the same thing. Paris and I had quite the things going on in that amount of time, and the way someone goes on about something in a moment where we needed just a bit of comfort tells me everything about you as a person. I always had the same for others and for my mom because that's just how I operate. I'll be nice to people until I have a reason not to be. I expected that energy back. So do I care if she knows about it? Well, she's gonna know anyway." I don't know what he means by it. Their marriage or he says, "Will it permanently damage our relationship? Some of the things she said and did that wasn't even mentioned in this post are the exact reason that it doesn't exist anymore." He's talking about his relationship with his mom. Siblings. So he's talking about his siblings, which is, I forgot the names of Mina's other two kids. There was a boy and then a girl whose name is, I think the girl's name is Alina. I forget the boy's name. Like Ayan. But he says that, yeah, my siblings can reach out to me on their own free will or after 18. I did that too to my relatives that she separated me from. Both of them have a conscience and they have free will for that matter. Holy crap. So someone else, Cobra Alpha here, is saying, "Armaan, please let everyone know the level of crazy. I mean, hitting you is batshit crazy." So I guess like in another message, he was talking about her physically abusing him. But what other things did she do and what other things make you see that she's a bad person? So then Armaan, Dry Trouble, says, "Can I like save these?" Sorry, hold on. Let me see. Because like the top and bottom is cut off by the Reddit interface. Okay, never mind. I guess it was screenshotted that way. So certain things are blocked, but he says, "I was never autistic, funnily enough. I was just a bit awkward when I was younger. She always threw different terms at me, hoping one of them would stick as a label. Bipolar, autistic, sociopath, psychopath, predator, her favorite one. Like, I'm just a 12-year-old boy. My gosh, give me a break. LOL. So she was calling her son a predator when he was just 12. She claims to be partaking in South Asian roots and culture, but she's more Americanized than you think, just very self-absorbed in that manner. So then someone else from the Reddit says, being called a predator as a child is so damaging. In hindsight, it was very disturbing how she would badmouth your biological dad and speak on how you have his predator genes. Like, why would you say that about your little boy? I remember that. So then Armaan says, thank you for being so understanding. Yes, the last time she called me that was at 17 years old, so quite recent. She hated and always badmouthed my bio dad as if she did everything right in the relationship. So any chance she got to call me a predator, it always tied back to him. Wow. Someone else says, oh my god, this is horrible. So sorry that you went through this. I knew she was a narcissist. I'm curious, is she abusive with your younger siblings too, or is it just you? So he says, that's a really good question. I genuinely don't know overall. What I do know is that they have quite the health issues, and she keeps feeding them really unhealthy, even though she eats healthier herself. What? One of them barely eats anything, but again, that was 3 years ago when I was there. I would say the dynamic between them and the younger siblings are different than mine, because obviously I'm the older one that looks like her ex. I won't make any assumptions, but I wouldn't be entirely positive on it either. So then Cobra Alpha says, how can you not know how she is with them if you grew up with them? Do you get along with them? Someone else, Mila in pink, says, oh my god, I'm shocked at what you went through. I had a feeling something was off about Mina, but I had no idea she was this abusive. I hope you're able to overcome what you went through, and I wish you all the best. So then he says, Armaan says, thank you, I appreciate you. She did shut and delete my phone number after seeing this post, so I had to get a new one. Okay, so Mina found out that Armaan was posting about her in her own like subreddit, in the Mina Irfan the Scammer subreddit, and was upset about that, and I guess, yeah, like cut off her son financially. So he says that I doubt we will ever see each other again in this lifetime. That's the second time he said that about his parents, you guys. That's sad. But it's okay, because I wouldn't really want my kids near her anyway. Is Mina's relationship what she claims? This is still Armaan talking, right? I mean, I've always been confused by it. I can definitely say on the outside, it definitely seems more stable than most relationships, but I doubt the attraction is 100% there, just being honest. She complained about him a lot when he wasn't around, talking about Irfan. When she wasn't around, he would sometimes do the same thing. He seems visibly annoyed by her obsessive habits, and he even said to not tell her that she's a self-centered woman and finds it dumb that she spends a lot on bracelets and whatnot. I mean, that's not surprising. It was pretty clear from the jump. Like, she also talked a lot back when I used to watch her in her lives about how Irfan was always like really stingy, and they would call him like the stingy uncle or something. And then he wouldn't, when they were younger, or I guess when they were more newlywed, he wouldn't let her order soda and stuff at restaurants in an effort to, you know, keep their savings rate high. And at that time, she wasn't working a job, and she didn't have income coming in from her YouTube, right? So yeah, I feel like they've always been like not compatible in terms of financial spending, or I don't know. She says that, I mean, she also turned that into like one of her core teachings that I forget. Oh my god, this is like a trip down memory lane for me, because I have not been anywhere near her content or her channel for at least the past probably 3 years by now. Yeah, because it was like, I think I was 33 the first time that I went to see her in person at that seminar in Dubai. That was the first time I ever went to Dubai, and then I kept the Dubai, but I got rid of the toxic part, which was the Mina universe guru stuff. Yeah, her and Irfan never seemed to be on the same page with regards to finance, but she did always say in her courses and stuff that, oh, if you're a spender, then you should like get with a guy who's a saver, and then just basically leave the financial responsibility to him. But it's clear that like she always had a spending problem, which, hey, again, I'm not knocking it, okay? I'm not saying that I'm above that or better. I'm not saying that I'm any better myself. I literally just placed an order for, you know, a matching set of Vivienne Westwood necklace and earrings that I wasn't planning on buying at all, but my idle eyes, my idle hands somehow found their way to the Vivienne Westwood website, and I justified it in my mind that, well, it is my birthday after all, and technically I didn't get myself a real birthday gift, even though I told myself that paying for a cleaning service to come the other day was my gift to myself this year, because that was going to be like, to me, I was just joking to myself. I was joking with myself that that was the ultimate sign of moving into the final stages of adulting. But anyway, so yes, I ordered a new Vivienne Westwood necklace and earrings for myself. Continuing on with Arman's testimony, he says that what I noticed is that he, Irfan, just does whatever she wants or whatever she says. If she says to kick that person in the face because she feels like it, then he'll do it. He doesn't think for himself in those instances. It's always been like that. Thus, he hasn't accomplished anything substantial in his whole life after meeting her, even though he said he wishes otherwise. Holy crap. Arman's spilling all the tea for us. He's just there. Other than that, it's just a gossip and talk shit type of relationship. It's nothing crazy, but it's nothing absolutely terrible either. So someone else is like, I think this post could be fake. Mina and Arman are still following each other on Instagram. In fact, Mina is the only person that Arman follows. Could you actually prove that it's you by unfollowing her? It shouldn't be a big deal anymore if you don't want a relationship with her anymore. So then Arman replies, bitch, what? Laughing, crying emoji. You mean that human design account? I barely use that. Thanks for reminding me. I'll block her. My personal Instagram, we don't follow each other. So then Supernova, who was the woman asking him to prove this, said, okay, I see that you just unfollowed her. Sorry for doubting. You know, it's hard to believe everything on the internet. Damn, man, I'm sorry for what you've been through with your mom. Someone else says, I'm so sorry to hear that she blocked your number. Interesting info about their relationship. Confirms what I thought back when I listened to her YouTube videos. She just didn't seem happy with her husband, even though she tried so hard to convince her viewers otherwise. I concur. Do you have a good relationship with your siblings, aunts, uncles? Hopefully you're not secluded from all family members. So then Arman says, thank you. She didn't block my number. She took it down because it's part of the family data plan or whatever. It's gone. And exactly, you got that right. Everything she ever said online is for show. She even said that he's been upset by things she said, but her excuse is that it's more of a performance or exaggeration to convey or get a point across. Okay, so she's even like pretended that Irfan was upset by certain things in order to prove a point or to push a certain, narrative or teaching in her videos. Yeah, that checks with me. I'm not surprised to hear this. So then he continues, I don't talk to the youngest sibling. I left when she was 9 and she doesn't really keep up. I think we will rekindle once she's much older. Don't talk much with the other family members. We actually don't have as much family in general as you may think. Only one other aunt and uncle that I know of. So then Confident Bike says, does Mina actually have that beautiful bonding with the youngest child as she claims? Does that feel unfair to you? Does it make you feel like you belong less? And isn't men's supposed to be, okay, I think she means Mina. I think there's a typo here. Isn't Mina supposed to be the one person looking at all children in the same way? Hurts from your POV. Hope you get all strong and mighty someday and make a blissful family for yourself. So then Arman replies, I appreciate your kind words. Made me smile first thing in the morning. Regarding your question, I actually used to compare myself with siblings a lot, but only when I was younger. There were some things I simply had better, such as more freedom to roam a cruise at 12 than my other sibling could at 15. They could never allow him. So honestly, I liked being independent, that it didn't matter too much to me how she treated them versus me, because we simply had too far of an age gap. Okay, interesting. The beautiful bonding with the youngest one being the girl, Alina. I mean, it's just there. Think of an Instagram picture where you are in front of the Eiffel Tower and the picture is so colorful, feels so Parisian, people are jealous because you are in France. That's how their relationship looks. Then you strip away the color filter, color grading, and now it just looks like an average picture. Yes, that's it. It's there. Good moments, bad moments, etc. You reply with a lot of clarity for your age. I get what you say. It's all perspective and can be glamorized easily on social media. So then Arman continues, thank you, and that's all her social media, by the way. Let me tell you something. Paris, his wife, and I actually talked about this. If you strip away the fact that she likes business and YouTube and possibly even getting her weekly massage, my mom genuinely has no hobbies. I could have told you that. Everything checks out to me. Nothing is like shocking to me in this confession, as crazy as it may sound coming from the horse's mouth. Her main hobby is watching TV. She has no interests. She looks like her age first thing in the morning with no makeup. Okay, which is normal. She's not the happiest person I met. I'm actually way happier and more positive than she is. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Arman. Yeah. I love that for him. She's just better at hiding it. She takes care of herself, so I will give her that at least. But anything you see on social media, besides the fact that they are extremely wealthy, is just smoke and mirrors. Okay, so he's saying that it's true that they're extremely wealthy, which I can believe because I feel like most of that was Irfan's, financial planning skills and whatnot. But let me see. Yeah, someone else says the no hobbies thing is obvious. I never saw her do anything as a hobby. Me neither. And to continue off of what I said the other day, I noticed that she never had pets and she never had an affinity for animals, which should have been the first glaring red flag to me. Because now that I look around, like 4 years after the fact, 4 years after, disentangling myself from the content of this scammer, I looked around and I noticed that all of the people that I deliberately selected to keep in my life in terms of advice giving or positive influence, whether they be people in my real life or people that I follow online, they always have pets. And Mina has none. And I remember, I don't know, I watched so many live streams of her back in the day. It's kind of crazy to think about because, I'm so far removed from that now. But there was a period where I was also kind of drinking the Kool-Aid and I was kind of hanging off of every word that she would say. And I remember, I think one time someone asked her, do you like pets or would you ever consider getting a cat or dog or something like that? And she kind of she was vague she sort of evaded the question as usual, but she kind of alluded to the fact that she doesn't feel any affinity towards animals.
Okay, side tangent, but I'm remembering now that they used to have fish, and I remember in particular she said her daughter got this one fish. It was red or something, or I don't remember the color, but it was a different type of fish that the pet store specifically told her that it could not be put in with the other fish because it would become aggressive. But then for whatever reason, she said that because her daughter wanted to, she just put the fish in with the other fish that they had. I feel like I'm not remembering the details of this story super clearly, but it showed that she had little to no regard for other life forms other than humans, or really herself. I mean, not to get too much off my point, but I remember even with housekeepers and other help that she hired to help do tasks around the house, the way that she spoke about them was also kind of very dismissive.
So that should have been my clue right then and there to stop listening to this bitch. But again, what can I say? I was drinking the Kool-Aid back then. So then, someone else is asking, does your mom have a relationship with her siblings? He says, not at all, but contact after the CPS incident. The CPS incident. Okay, there was a Child Protective Services incident, apparently. My uncle wanted to take me in, tried to even help. My mom got pissed from that, even though she knew I was happier there with his uncle because I wouldn't be controlled by her. So she said never to have contact with him again. Regarding the aunt not talking to. Wow. Okay, so I don't know if he elaborates on this later, but again, I'm only working off of the screenshots that are left in the Reddit, but I guess apparently CPS was called on her at one point for the way that she was treating Armaan, and I'm guessing this was in his younger years, to the point where his uncle, her brother, had to step in and try to take custody of him or something. So someone else, Low Dot, says, I'm sorry if this is too sensitive, but do you ever have contact with your biological father? And are the things that she said about him true? So he says, nope, not at all. I actually never cared to find out who he was. I don't even know what he looks like, so I wouldn't know if it's true. So then Low Dot says, this is so interesting. It doesn't really sound like the masculine provider role that she preaches, and if he was just a yes man, lol. So this person is talking about Armaan's revelations about Irfan. So then Pop Euphoric says, what I'm really curious about is what happened to the people close to her. What happened to her best friend Terry? I remember that. Or the celebrity coach who was also Paris Hilton's coach. The looked like a Filipino guy or some South Asian ethnicity guy. I remember that as well. All the close people in her life disappeared at some point, just like you suddenly disappeared, Armaan. Now we know what happened to you, and I'm very sorry. Armaan says, Terry and her got into a disagreement. My mom claims that she cut her off. Okay, I don't know what that means. Does that mean Terry cut off Mina or Mina cut off Terry? I guess it doesn't matter. Don't know about the Paris Hilton coach. My mom can't keep a friendship / she doesn't have friends. This is straight from her son's mouth. So yeah, it's not for her, and she knows that. And thank you. Wow. So Confident Bike says, listening to Arman's rant, I realized something. His tone of writing and harsh delivery may be wrong. Okay, I'm not sure. Like, I feel like Arman is getting into a little bit of a kerfuffle with some of the other commentators on this subreddit. So we'll get into another post later. And I have my thoughts on that as well. But finishing this post though, listening to Arman's rant, I realized that his tone of writing and harsh delivery may be wrong, but I think this is what he captures. It's an epiphany of sorts. Mina is a salesperson selling her product. It's up to you, the consumer, trying to buy it or not. Somebody might sell plain cow dung. They may market it as the most precious dropping of all sacred cows straight from the pastures of the Himalayas. Possessing this will help you retain your aura. That is her explanation, her tactic of selling something, her talent. It's up to our discernment to know that it is pure BS, quite literally. Probably it means that we as women shouldn't be outsourcing our discernment to some outside entity and wasting our resources on something that feels off. Exactly. 1,000%. Okay, clock it. Leave. Listen to your gut and leave. Okay, so that's the end of the first post that started this whole kind of whirlwind. This is the post that turned this entire subreddit upside down, I'm telling you.